This here is called Actress Carrie Otis Exposes Fabricated Interview in Amber Heard's PI's Book from July 10th, 2024 from a site called Board Panda. Shout out to them. Model and actress Carrie Otis, who was quoted in Paul Barisi's book, Johnny Depp's Accidental Fixer, told Board Panda that she's never been contacted by the controversial Hollywood fixer. Now, Paul Baresi's a guy who was hired by Amber to find dirt on Johnny, who found out there wasn't so much dirt at all. And this woman here, this actress, says that he added the quote, or she never said it, or something like that. Paul, who self-published his book on July 5th, where he described his experience being hired by Amber Heard as private investigator to dig up dirt on Johnny Depp, claimed he had interviewed Carrie among 100 people. Here are some main points. Carrie Otis denied ever speaking to Paul Baresi, despite being quoted in his book about Johnny Depp. Carrie expressed sympathy for Amber Heard and denied involvement in any investigation about Johnny Depp. Paul claimed his book is based on interviews with 100 people, including Carrie, who refuted his claim. A former adult film actor stated that Carrie had scoffed at the idea that Johnny was violent, saying it was ridiculous. However, upon being reached by Board Panda's team for comment on Paul's work, the 55-year-old actress revealed that not only had she never been contacted by the author, but she also sympathized with Amber. I have not officially been interviewed or reached out to by anyone on Johnny Depp's team at any time, Carrie told Board Panda in an email. So even if that's true, it doesn't actually refute the claim, because she could have been contacted by him and given that quote and said it wasn't Johnny's team when in fact it wasn't, but she did give the quote. I don't know, I can't say. And we can't say every single one of the 100 of them is true. Maybe he wanted to fill up his book with, bigger names for a selling point, but I don't think he made it all up. I'm going to assume the vast majority are true, but there's no way to know. The exit in Red Star affirmed that there was no reason she should have been quoted in Paul's book and that she had not been alerted about the project. I wonder what Exit in Red is about. She continued, I do not know Amber, but I empathize with her and her position, nor do I know Johnny well at all, and I cannot speak to his name. All right, fair enough. Other than the time I was modeling, there are lots of rumors floating around about guarding this relationship with Amber. It appeared at the time that it was alleged to be abusive. Carrie went on to emphasize that she had never been interviewed by Paul and that she stood firm in her knowledge and truth. They say she's a Sports Illustrated model who's familiar with DV. She says every time Mickey, which I guess was her partner at the time, would abuse her, he would beg and cry for forgiveness. They say that he was arrested for assaulting Carrie, but the charge was eventually dropped. They also say that person supported Johnny on Piers Morgan in 2022. That's interesting, but we can't say from it one way or the other if that gives any truth or falsehood to what this person's saying about the misquote by Paul. They give some details on Paul's book. They say Paul's the latest to capitalize on the infamous case, which I guess, if he did this stuff, he's got the right to put his opinion out there in the book and things like that. It's not like he wasn't involved and tried to make something up out of thin air for clout. He was involved and hired by Amber, so, he's got a pretty good excuse to put the book out. They feature these tweets, this from July 9th. Amber Heard's biggest sin was not being the perfect victim, in my honest opinion. Abuse victims aren't all cowering, withering flowers. Reactive abuse is a thing. It's the last thing I'm going to say tonight. Yeah, we've heard that before. And they have a poll. Considering Carrie Otis empathizes with Amber Heard, do you think her views impact the controversy? Obviously, the controversy is pretty much over. It's all been played out, but those are the results. Most people say, no, everyone has their opinion. Okay, fine. Anyway, pretty much he said, she said here. You let me know what you think. We'll see if anyone else from this book comes out and says they weren't actually interviewed or something like that. And if you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.